Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 782. We're on StreamYard today. What is happening? I feel a little out of my element this morning. I should probably utilize StreamYard a little more often. What is happening? Happy Thursday. This is the last Hobby Evolution of the week until next Monday, where you'll hear my reviews of Cubs Convention, which is coming up this weekend. So I'll be traveling tomorrow morning. It's automobiles, trains, and cabs to get to CubsCon. So I'll drive to Harvard, Illinois tomorrow morning. Actually, I'll be on the road about this time. See, yeah, right now. I would be on the road to Harvard, Illinois, the Harvard of Illinois, jumping on a Metra, about an hour and a half train ride into the city, down to Ogilvie in downtown Chicago. From Ogilvie, I'll hop in a cab to the Sheraton, where I will spend the next couple days with all of my nerdy Cub friends. So I will be putting out some videos throughout the weekend from Cubs Convention. So that's what I'll be up to this weekend. What's going on in the chat? We have Augusta Lawn Care of Cherry Hill. How do we get to your live broadcast each day? I just checked your page like 2 minutes ago and there was nothing there. Or do we just have to wait for it to pop up? I think you just have to wait for it to pop up. I could probably schedule something. That would probably be the best way to do it. I should just schedule like, hey, 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to look into that because that's a good question. Because sometimes when people go live at like a certain time, I'm like, refresh. And sometimes I would miss like the first minute. So maybe I should look into that and actually schedule something. Sometimes I'm late, but I'll definitely look into that. That's actually a really good question already. Let's see. We've got Todd. What's happening, Todd? Good morning to you. And there, Augusta says, good morning. Good morning from Dean and Andrew. What is happening? Good morning. We've got Brian Dean in the house. David is here. Let's see. Paige and Dean, of course you wait, Augusta, and chat amongst yourselves. Ed, good morning. What's happening? We've got ATX Treasure Chest. Long time no view. You've come just in time. We're going to talk eBay stores. And there's going to be a little math involved today. Good morning, Brian. What's up? Made the beginning. Bam. What's up, Raphael? Good morning to you. Andrew says StreamYard conjures up Keatings. Randy's in the house. What's up, Randy? We've got Cooter. Cooter spent a lot of time watching some races yesterday. Good morning, Zach and Porter. Let's see. Augusta says, have an awesome time. We will miss you. Thank you. I'll be putting out some videos. So I'll probably do, I think, Cubs Convention tomorrow. I might do like a video of just like the arrival. And then I was actually playing around with like time-lapse video. And it's like, it'd be really cool to like walk the entire convention, like filming the entire convention and then doing like a time-lapse video to like do 30 minutes down to 3 minutes or whatever that time-lapse would work out to. So that's something that I want to do. I probably won't do it Friday because Friday's just going to be like Friday of Cubs Convention is like just insanity. If you've never been to Cubs Convention, it's freaking wild. It's like what's like Comic-Con. It's very similar to like a big con, a big convention. So Friday, it's just like, Friday's a whirlwind. Friday is such a whirlwind. So what I'll do is I'll get in, cab will drop me off right there at the front door at the Sheraton. There's people, like everybody's happy and the weekend's here, the Cubs Convention. Players are starting to arrive. So we've got graphers in the lobby. So what I do when I get there is I go straight to the bellhop or whatever that is and drop off my luggage because typically we haven't checked in yet or I haven't found the people, because I don't do the checking in. My buddy does, one of my buddies. And then so I basically get in line for the Cubs garage sale, which is basically all season or not season ticket, stadium giveaway. So it's a lot of like stadium giveaway stuff that they put in a grab bag. And for like 30 or 40 bucks, you buy a grab bag. And it's basically the same. Everything's the same. There's usually a bobblehead. You don't know which one unless you like sneak peek. I don't think they really want you to do that. But sometimes it's like, I have that one. Look at this one. So there's like a bobblehead. There's a t-shirt, hat, little toys, just random stuff. It's definitely worth the 40 bucks. So basically what I do is I'll keep the bobblehead. Like I basically buy it for the bobblehead and then I sell everything else. Cause it's like a little kid's t-shirt or a hat or like a flag or just whatever they've given away. And that stuff sells pretty well on eBay, which is what we're going to talk about today, how to open an eBay store. So that's something. And I basically recoup my, actually I make money on those grab bags. Then there's like Cubs Authentic Store downstairs. I'll check that out. They have game used everything you can think of. And that actually goes to Cubs charity. So it's actually going to a good cause as well. One year they had like a Gatorade. It was like a game used Gatorade cooler, and it was autographed by a bunch of people. It's like, this is just pretty cool just to say you have a game used Gatorade cooler. So Friday's just a whirlwind. You're running into everybody. And then you've got the opening ceremonies, which is in the main ballroom. It's packed. I hate crowds. So I just kind of hang back, drink a beer, take it all in. Friday's a little different this year for Cubs convention because there's no Kerry Wood fundraiser, which was separate from the convention, but always the Friday night during the convention. And it was a fundraiser. So you paid X amount for a ticket. And then you tipped the bartenders who were Cubs players. So that's not going on this year, which is a bummer because that was a really fun event. So we'll just hang out at the hotel. I know Ethan Roberts is going to hang out with us on Friday night. Some other former Cubs players will be down there in the hotel bar area as well. So that's what's happening Friday night. And then Saturday, I am like an autograph guy. I basically spend all day Saturday getting autographs. I'll pop in and just take a lap if there's, long lines or if I don't want whoever's signing at that particular time. So that's a good chance for me to do the walk around video. And then Saturday night, I skip bingo because I don't like Cubs bingo. And I hang out in the hotel bar. So that's basically, and then Sunday it wraps it up. Usually there's some autograph sessions in the morning. And then by like 11 noon, I'm like, oh my God, I am cubbed out. I'm ready to go home. And then hop on the train and hop on the cab to the train to my car, drive home. And then I'll be back on Hobby Evolution Monday morning, 7 a.m. Paige and Deanie Bean, what's up? Good morning. We've got Brian. Write this down. Use StreamYard more, right? I should write that down. It does take me a little longer to set everything up because it would save me time if I used it more often because I would be more used to it. And it's like how I forget how to do things. It's like, where do I do that? Like layover? Oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, I got to create banners. So I created one. It's like, what can you've got to like take advantage of all these little things on StreamYard. So I should use StreamYard. How often have I been? I think I've been subbed to StreamYard for a year and a half, and I use it once a month. I'm not getting my best bang for my buck, spending $25 for one episode a month. Let's see. Let's go. Sports Cards. PNW. Good morning to you. I was pleasantly surprised with how fast I got my redemption back from Topps. Turnaround time less than a week. Sometimes it's like that. Like if the autographs are already in hand, they're really fast. So last year when Bowman mega boxes, just the standard Bowman mega boxes came out, a couple of buddies came over and we had like a ripping party of Bowman mega boxes. I think this was actually, might have been 2 years ago. It was during COVID. Brian Bourne and Ryan, ripping one-handed, came over. Ryan, who's a big Brewers fan, pulled a Brewers redemption of Garrett Mitchell. And so he like redeemed it either that and he scratched it that night or the next day. And within a week, he had it. But then there's some people that are waiting. Like I'm still waiting on, I think, an Andrew Vaughn from 2 years ago. And I even filed through Topps and it's like, I'll get it when I get it. But it's like, just give me after a year, just give me a replacement. And I still haven't received anything. So it's weird how some stuff you'll get in a week and some stuff it's years and it just never populates. What's up, Paul Heath in the house? Let's see. Randy says YouTube notifications. Oh yeah, I think there's a bell. Another show I watched. They're like, click the bell and you'll be alerted when I go live. What's up, Nukes Cards in the house? Good morning. John is here. What's happening? John, I did catch the tail end of Mike Moynihan's live stream last night. John popped in for the last few minutes. Jenny's in the house. What's happening, Jenny? The flipping sports guy says Bo is a late arriver. So we just patiently refresh our screens, right? Yeah, I was tardy again today. Let's see. We've got Kyle. What's happening? Never paid attention to the performance tab at eBay until you mentioned it yesterday. In my main non-card category, I was ranked 7 out of 1,013. Thanks for that tip. Yeah, isn't that a cool feature, which they're doing away with in the next, couple months? I think in the trading card category, I'm like 11th out of 40,000. Let's see. Let's go to my performance tab and check that out. Yeah, and there's like a little window. The listings quality report will be deprecated. Why did they have to use big words? Why can't they just say the listings quality report will be no longer active? Deprecated. It's like, what the hell does that mean? It sounds, there's a red exclamation point, so I'm assuming that's deprecated is not a good thing. I know when you're self-deprecating, that means you're like making fun of yourself. So I assume eBay's gonna start making fun of themselves. They're self-deprecating on February 28th, but there's no self in front of it, so they're just deprecating. Where's my listings quality report? I just downloaded. It's been a while since I've checked. It's been about a week since I've checked it. 2 weeks maybe. Let's see. So yeah, I'm going to check that out. Boston Smoke, what's happening? Good morning to you. Good morning, Hobby World. Herman in the house. Let's see. Yeah, working that StreamYard. It's like magic. Let's see. Cooter's hooked up to a ventilator today. Christian, what's happening? Full house today in the chat. It is. I love it. Full chats are the best. That's the best because it gives me more to talk about. It's more fun for all. Bo putting up the chat will help us all figure out how far behind he is. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. Where's my listings quality? Here we go. Here we go. So let's see. Trading card singles. Is this it? Let's see. Trading card singles. Doesn't have a. Here's summary. Here we go. Summary. So we've got, it's funny. I've got some like wrestling, fan apparel and souvenirs, wrestling. I'm rated 56th out of 4,636 sellers for active listings in wrestling, fan apparel, and souvenirs, which basically is my magazines. And I have like 20 listed. Let's see. Trading card singles, new condition. I think it's new or it's used. That's where I'm higher. Ooh, I moved into the top 10. Sports card trading singles. Listing condition used. I rank 10 out of 34,513 sellers, but I also have some listings under new where I rank 206 out of 16,575. Then there's trading card lots, which is strange to me. And this is why it's I don't understand how these work because trading card, and maybe it's because new and used is used, but still new and used trading cards. There's still less than trading card lots. So trading card singles new, it's ranking 16,575 sellers. Trading card singles used, it's ranking 34,513 sellers. But trading card lots, it's ranking 68,833 sellers. That just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, enough on that report. Okay, here we go. So where are we at? John says filming the Cubs convention would be cool for probably 3 people. Well, I'll have 3 views. Do a short. That way we're only tortured for a minute. Flipping Sports Guy says the big con isn't what the owners have been doing for years. Yes, the Ricketts are conning us all. Ain't that the truth? Over $100 for a damn bleacher ticket. Well, in the secondary market. Well, yeah. I think face value is like 70 still for a freaking bleacher ticket. You can't see. Travis Bogart, what's happening? Good morning to you. I know you've mentioned before about posting cards on sport lots. Have you ever sold cards on BSC where it says sell with no fees? Is that like buy sports cards? I have not. And I really, honestly, I have no interest. Because here's why. Everybody complains about fees. eBay, oh my God, the fees. When it comes down to it, if eBay is correctly applying those fees and not overcharging, which, by the way, I can go into that, further dialogue is being made. No answers have been given. I've had multiple people that do not work for eBay tell me why these issue of overcharging is probably likely happening, but nobody from eBay is telling me that. I want answers from eBay. So I shouldn't say progress. Further dialogue is being had. No progress is being made, but further dialogue is being had. So honestly, I have the fees do nothing for me. Because the fees that I pay to eBay, I feel is a service based on how easy for me as a seller to report all of my earnings, all of the taxes, all of that. So easy. Just how to use the platform, everything. It's so easy. It's well worth 12% fees plus a 30-cent transaction fee if it's only applied one time per transaction. So that's why these fly-by-night selling platforms that say sell with no fees, because guess what's going to happen? More and more people are going to be using a platform, no fees. And guess what? Well, we've got to start charging a 1% fee. Oh, it's only 1%. And then it's 5%. And then all of a sudden it's 12%. And you have 1/100th of the eyeballs that eBay has, but you're paying similar amounts in fees. So maybe that doesn't happen, but I have no interest in some of these other sales platforms. Like I mentioned the other day, the only other platform that I would use as a seller would be ComC. Sportlots, done it. Don't have any interest in it works. It worked for me. So I can tell you Sportlots is a great platform as a seller, but there's some buts. You have to be super organized, and you have to be, it is very time consuming. And why I like eBay and what I'm doing with my $1.50 sales, I don't have to sort a damn card. I can list thousands and thousands and thousands of cards on eBay and not sort a damn card. Where on Sportlots, I've got to spend hours and hours sorting, and then going. It's tedious. So it's not, but some people are okay with that. They can do it. Time well spent. That's cool. I did it for 2 years, hardcore on Sportlots, and it worked. And then it didn't for me. So, but it does work great for others. So I would not go down the Sportlots road again. Jenny says, I feel like I know everything about Cubs convention from the past month of chat, and I really haven't even talked about Cubs convention. Like some people on the National, the National. I really haven't even gone into Cubs convention. Let's see. Bellhop, like using the term people train. Good morning, Terry. What's happening? We've got Johnny Boy Cards in the house. Good morning to you. Augusta said, had a great selling Saturday through Tuesday, then made my bare minimum sale per day at like 11:30 Pacific last night. That's a great. So I have a similar observation. My sales absolutely sucked yesterday. So it's and I know why my sales sucked yesterday, because I like went to the bare minimum of my promotions, where I had like a fluctuating scale on my promotions. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drop it down. And it's kind of like what I talked about yesterday was trial and error. And sometimes you just have to stick your neck out and try some things to see if they work. And if they do, boom, you can continue doing it and see success. If it doesn't work, hey, at least I tried, right? So I didn't even plan on this until I started thinking about it last night. I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect time for me for a little trial and error when it comes down to promotions. And so I dropped it down. And yesterday it's like, God, I haven't sold like anything compared relatively speaking. Like, why I dropped my promotions down. So I'm getting less views, less impressions, less page views. Guess what? Less sales, which is actually a good thing, because this week, Jenny, I'm going to Cubs convention. And so I'm going to be out of town for 3 days. So I really don't want to come home on Sunday night to 800 items to ship. And then for the next month, I'm behind. By the time I get caught up, it's time to go to spring training. So that's kind of, it's like, okay, this is actually a good thing. I'm not putting my store on vacation mode. I'm not shutting it down. I'm just dropping the scale on my promotions. And while I'm making less sales, it also gives me an idea of what level of promotion I should be at. Should I double up? So it gives me a good gauge. Okay, I dropped my promotions. How much money am I spending in promoted fees? Okay. And then I can compare that to, okay, here's what I netted for this week with higher promotion fees. Okay, here's the net. Okay, here's my net when I dropped it down to the bare minimum. Ooh, I need to jack those promotions up. Even though I'm spending more in promotion fees, my net take-home pay is much higher. So it's giving me a nice little example. So I'm going to continue. I think I started it. When did today's Thursday. So Tuesday, I think Tuesday afternoon is when I dropped my promotions. And I like immediately saw a drop in sales. So I'll continue that. That helps me when I get home. I'm not buried in shipping. People aren't complaining that, where's my card? I bought it Thursday night and you haven't shipped it and it's Monday, all that stuff. So it's actually kind of, hey, this is a good little trial and error period for promoted listings. But it's interesting that you say your sales sucked yesterday also. Maybe yesterday was just a bad day in card sales. Let's see. Wesley is in the Tar Heel State. What's up, North Carolina? North Cackalack. Born and raised up. Take your shirt off. Spin it around your head like a helicopter. Of course, my goal is a whopping 3 per day. Zach says, Jenny, still less content leading up to the National. I felt like I was going in 2022. Ask your stewardess if you can still use the term bellhop in 2023. Mark, what's happening? Good morning to you. I will have a good time at the Cubs convention. Victor, because I'm going to see Victor. He's going to be at the Cubs convention. What's up, Victor? Let's see. Jenny says, yes, agreed on that. I now have the entire weekend plan after this morning. There you go. Harlan, what's happening? Good morning. Let's see. Augusta says, a little throwback. When I was in high school, Bo Jackson came out with an energy bar and came to my high school, found the empty box and an autographed wrapper. That's pretty sweet. John says, what does Bo's housewife do while breadwinner is at the Cubs conclave? Let's see. Augusta says, just went and looked, better bars they were. If you decide to show up at Cubs convention, you will know where to find him. Just look for the guy with the sandwich board. And you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday because it's like, oh, I've got to get my Cubs cardometer. It's still in my car and I've got to update it so I have it for the Cubs convention. And the sandwich board is a great conversation starter. Because A, you don't know what people are like. If you're just wearing just a random zip down shirt with nothing on it, it's my old company logo on it. You don't know anything about that person. You're not just going to go, oh, hey, do you collect baseball cards? You don't do that. But if somebody's wearing a sandwich board and it says Cubs cardometer, 869,286, that piques interest. Hey, what's this about? And then you tell the story. If everybody wore a sandwich board with something unique about them, wouldn't it be more fun? You wouldn't feel like, because now we go to, somebody mentioned stewardess, the airport. God, you're sitting in the airport forever. And everybody's looking at their phones. But if we all wore sandwich boards with different things about us, it would generate conversation. We wouldn't be buried in our cell phones, and we'd actually get to learn about other people. So I'm pro sandwich board. Go get yourself a sandwich board. Hell, it can be a piece of poster board. Tie some strings around it so you can hang it over your neck. Ring a bell. Shame. Shame. I wish we would all wear sandwich boards. Let's see. John says, any luck selling redemptions on eBay? I have. Yeah, I've sold redemptions. I'm always a little nervous. And I've got a couple listed right now on eBay. And it's like, what the hell should I do? Should I list it on eBay, or should I take the chance and send it into Topps and potentially wait 3 years for it to be redeemed? I think I have like a James Wood Pro Debut Gold Auto, which I should look to see if any of those have gone live. But that's something that I'd like to have in hand and sell. But sometimes it's like, for some reason, I have a ton of White Sox redemptions. Yolbert Sanchez. I think there's a Jose Rodriguez. Andrew Vaughn, which I did submit, and it's still sitting at Topps. So, yes, I have had luck selling redemptions, but I do have some in my store that just aren't moving. Matt, what's up? Royals 417 in the house. Andrew says, I think the housewife should come down to the exact location the Bo is in now and fill in like Jay Leno for Johnny Carson, right? Let's see. Wow, super fancy setup for the morning show. Hit that like button. Thank you, Dan. We're utilizing that subscription to StreamYard that I haven't used since in like exactly a month. I use it like once a month. We used it for the Couch People Christmas party a month ago. A little over, I think it was, when was our Christmas party? December 10th. So it's been a little over a month. Cooter says, why does every event Bo described end with, and I hang in the hotel bar? That's a good point. That's where all the fun happens. That's where the good conversation is. Let's see. Turkey Card says the Cubs Fest sounds fun. It is a flippin' blast. You know what? Ooh, since I'm on StreamYard, I can show you some photos of past. Let's see. 1 million Cubs. See if I can get it in a Google search. Here we go. Okay, so we'll do that. Let's get through the chat. Flipping Sports Guy says, I've never believed their rankings. At one point, I had no cards listed, but was like a 300 rank or something like that. It's like, yeah, I don't understand. And it's based on active listings. So it's not like sales. It's not anything like that. It's just active listings. And it's nice to be up high. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Those rankings just don't make sense. And maybe that's why they're ending. They're deprecating the listings quality report. Brian says, I like Ripping One-Handed channel. You should do a guest stream, have him on in the new house as a guest. Yeah, he actually only lives a few miles. I'll be moving 2 miles further away from Ryan. He actually only lives a couple miles away. So we met up. And the funny thing is, like, the closer you are, like, the less you see of people. But I was kind of going with Cooter's point, when I take bike rides, I always end up at a brewery. So there's a small microbrewery in Verona, which is where Ryan lives, and it's just a few miles from where I live. So I went for a bike ride, and I'm like, I'm going to go to Hop House Brewery, and they've got a little outdoor patio, and so I'm just sitting there having a beer, and I'm like, I'm going to text Ryan. So he came over, and we had a couple beers at the Hop House last summer. John says, I want footage of Bo fighting with tweens for the free t-shirts. Zach says, I think the Cubs auto ball I gave Vic was from the convention. It had Zimmer, Brickhouse, Dawson, Dunston. Very cool. MKB man, what's up? Good morning to you. Let's see. Victor says, yes, great gift. I can't wait for the weekend. It's going to be a blast. Augustus says, what price point should I be paying for a decent but inexpensive thermal printer? I see them for as low as $10, but guessing they are junk. I would guess they are junk also. So I have the Brother QL 1100. When I bought this new back like 2 years ago, it was $150. I think now on Amazon, they're like $300. Somebody, I think one of my dealers at the card show, they're like, yeah, I looked into that printer that you have, and it's like $300. I'm like, oh no, I paid $150 for it. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, Brother QL 1100. Jesus, here's one for, that's the 1100 NWB. QL 1100, $370. Okay, here's one for 306, 430. Jesus, they went up. Yeah, I paid like $150 for my exact same thermal label printer, like a year or two ago. Looks like they do have some used ones for $200. But yeah, I would say you're gonna pay $150, or maybe $100 if you buy refurbished. But I do not spend $10 on a thermal label printer. It's gonna be junk. It's either not gonna work, or it's gonna not work after, or it doesn't have don't do it. Or it's like a miniature label printer. I don't know. But I would not even blink at that $10 thermal label printer. At least $100, I would say. And obviously it's kind of like with anything. Typically speaking, you get what you pay for. Let's see. John says, I bought a thermal label printer at Staples for $122. Okay, so and if you go to Staples, it's probably going to be a little higher in store, so probably $100, maybe even 75, 80 online. So yeah, I would say ballpark around $100. Let's see. Uncle Rich, what's happening? Terrible like to viewer ratio. Oh, that's not good. I can't see. I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see how many likes. I can see viewers. 62. We're talking eBay store today, which we have not started talking. So hopefully those 62 viewers bear with me here. John says paper is extra. Yeah, so then you have to pay for the labels also on top of that. And if you buy on Amazon, if you buy a thermal label printer, usually they'll send you like a small roll, like 100 or probably 100. I think it was a small. I buy like rolls of 200. I think they were a little smaller, so maybe 100 rolls, 100 labels that came with it. Only new you can list is unopened, or are you breaking rules? I don't know. I don't have anything unopened that's on eBay. I don't know what I would have listed that would be in condition new. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says, nice thermal printer, was probably best purchase I ever made. Yes, thermal label printers are excellent. Thank you, Uncle Rich. Hit that like and subscribe. Let's see. Jenny says hi to Rich. We haven't heard a word yet on the title. It's only 34 minutes in. It's only 34 minutes in. Don't rush the show. How much extra is the paper? That's going to vary. I'm sure John's answered because I think I'm way behind in the. Oh, I can see the timestamp. Am I really 20 minutes behind on the chat? Let's see. Mike is in Ottawa, Canada. Wait a second. Bo was supposed to discuss his growing appreciation for NCAA women's gymnastics this morning. Shout out to Livy Dunn, LSU. who has a card with our friend Brian Gray. Add Leaf. What's up, reppin' Rajon Rondo? Good morning to you. Joe says, ban the Cubs haters. John says, I think $40 for like 4 to 5 rolls. I am paying, because I just had another delivery yesterday. I'm paying, I could tell you, let's see, orders. Oh, sign in. Skip. Let's see. So my recent order I had, and these are the 4x6. I paid $53 for 2,400. Is that right? 12 rolls? Yeah, 12 rolls, 200 labels. So I paid $53 for 2,400 labels. John says, thermal printer changed the game, as others have said. Absolutely. Good morning to Clark. What's happening? Augusta says that BSC has no fees, but everyone has cards listed so cheap, it's ridiculous. And that's kind of with like sport lots. Sure. And actually, it's kind of the opposite. The fees are high on sport lots. Where I'm selling like daily, I'm selling dozens of cards for $1.50 on eBay, where you can get them for 20 cents on sport lots. But sport lots is so hard, and you've got to pay shipping. So you may end up paying more than $1.50 on sport lots. And if you're on the platform for sport lots, you've got to compete with 400 other 1989 Topps Jose Canseco's. And guess what? They're not going to sell on sport lots, and they do on eBay. By the way, speaking of Cubs convention, Bill Madlock turned 72 today. Very cool. He will be at the Cubs convention this weekend. I will have to wish Bill Madlock a belated birthday. Let's see. Jenny says, no fees equals no sales, my opinion. Just saw a tweet of someone finally getting a $1,500 offer on Whatnot for a card that consistently is selling for $2,000 plus on eBay. Yikes. Mark says the Mets have the richest. Here's what I do like, as I get to Mark's comment. Here's what I do like about StreamYard. When I hit the down button, it doesn't skip ahead. So I don't have, where we at? I don't have to say that when I'm on StreamYard. On YouTube, it's like, where we at? Like 7 times a day. Where we at? Where am I at? Anyway, Mark says the Mets have the richest owner in sports. It's still $125 for a decent seat. I watch the games in my baseball room. Yeah. And I go, and for me, for Cubs games, it's not really the price of a ticket. It's just the pain in the ass to get to Wrigley Field from anywhere outside of Chicago. Because I have to, I guess I could drive in and pay $60 for parking. Yes, it's $40 or $60 for a decent parking spot. Or you drive all the way in and jump on the Metra, jump on the Red Line and all that. What I typically do is I'll drive to Harvard, jump on the Metra, and then from the Metra, you stop at Irving Park, I think. And then at Irving Park, they just have buses and vans, and you pay like $20 to get escorted down to Wrigley Field. The real pain is the way back, because Ubers are like non-existent, which is really, Uber sucks in Chicago. At least my personal experience, every time I've tried to use Uber in Chicago, it's a giant pain in the ass. In cabs, it's a nightmare to get back, to get to your train on time. So that's the main reason I only go to a couple games a year. In fact, like I went to 3 games last year. The first, and actually I didn't do any of those options. It didn't do that option on any of the 3 games I went to. The first time, my buddy Scott and I, he lives out in Lake in the Hills, Crystal Lake. So we usually take the Metra from Crystal Lake to Irving Park, jump on the van, and go to Wrigley. But he's like, man, it's such a pain in the ass to get back. He's like, do you mind if I drive? He's like, I'll stop drinking in like the 5th or 6th inning. And I'm like, hell, I'm cool with that. Yeah. And we paid like $60 to park. And like, it's a block away too. But so it's a good parking spot. It's a Cubs lot. You pay for it. You get what you pay for. But we didn't have to deal with all that hassle. And sometimes it's worth it to spend more to avoid headache-inducing hassles. Let's see. Where we at? There, I said it. Where are we at? Sal Dougie, what's happening? Good morning to you. Augusta says, I found out about the fees. JB Sports had it on his broadcast. When you send offers out to people, when they accept, it accepts it each time, one by one. Yes. And are you talking about the transaction fees? Because I can provide an update on that as well. That's my most recent dialogue with eBay. BD Card says, as a Red Sox fan, only $70. You don't realize how good you got it. Well, for me, I have to pay $60 to park and $10, $20 for a train. So there's more than just $70 for a ticket. And that's face value. I never buy face value. I always get it on the secondary market. Sometimes it's cheaper, but I always go in like the heart of the summer when ticket prices are there's still demand, because it's awesome to sit in Wrigley in the summer. So it's usually around $100 for a bleacher ticket. Let's see. Rich says eBay, when all is said and done, is about 15% fees for everything. And for what Bo needs, that's very efficient. Definitely. Well said. Absolutely. John says, Andrew, 880 labels for $32 is what I paid. Ed says eBay fees are worth the amount of eyes on the site without question. Those who choose to forego that reduce the competition for the rest of us. Absolutely. When people say, I hate eBay, I hate the fees, I love it, because that's one less competitor that's selling cards on eBay. BD says, honestly, for the price you pay for eBay, you're almost paying for the fact that you have tons of eyes on your stuff. Yes, without question. Let's see. Augusta says, I don't like ComC because A, you have to pay the fee up front. That's why I have avoided ComC to this point. And B, if the card doesn't sell, you have to pay storage fees. So that's basically what's holding me back. Because on eBay, I can list thousands and thousands and thousands of cards without any upfront fees. That's number one reason why I do not list on ComC. MKB Man says a lot of cards are being sold on whatnot. And actually going back to that, since Uncle Rich is in, I understand why there's upfront fees. So I understand why there's fees, but on the other hand, understand why doesn't work for me. So MKB Man says a lot of cards are being sold on whatnot. What's your take on it? Don't like it. I don't like whatnot. Maybe that's just me being a boomer. And yes, I have looked into it. I finally checked it out, and it's just not for me. It's just not for me. eBay's my lane. Sorting is fun for the casual collector, but for a full-timer like you, I'm sure it's a miserable time suck. It is, but there are times, very little times, that I have a lot of fun doing it. You know, sometimes if I'm caught up with shipping and I feel like I did enough listing for the day and I can take a break and sort like for fun, it's fun. You know, going through, and if it's not like a bunch of 91 Fleer, the Goodwill palette that I'm still digging through, haven't found much stuff. I think it's just going to be, like I've mentioned a few times, it's just going to be a bunch of like small dollar stuff. But I'm like finding a bunch of like fun, nostalgic cards while I sort. So that has been kind of fun. But yes, 98% of the time, sorting, not fun. And I avoid it at all costs because it's a total time suck. Let's see. Andrew says, thanks, Uncle Rich, for the stat analysis of like to watch percentage. If you didn't constantly remind me, I would most definitely watch the entire show without pressing the button. There you go. See, it works. Flipping Sports Guy had 2 sales all day. Then after 11:30, I had multiple orders of 6 to 10 cards. It's like WTF. Yeah, I had limited sales during the day, and really even last night, I did not move much. Let's just take a look at my numbers, and I can tell you exactly what my sales were because they were pitiful yesterday, relatively speaking. Sales. So yeah, I was at like 30% of my goal, which I went like 22 days surpassing my sales goal. Yesterday, I only got 30%, which is I think yesterday was my lowest sales day in, gosh, potentially a year. So let's just go custom 111, 2023. I've been pretty good at getting the correct year down this first 11 days of 2023. I only sold 42 items yesterday. And just relatively speaking, that's really low. Let's see. So what was yesterday? Wednesday. So Tuesday, so 42 sales yesterday. Tuesday was 73, which is pitiful. And I think that might be when I dropped my promotions down. And then Monday, 98, which is low. So it's actually been, my 90-day average is like 108 items per day sold. So just a glimpse. Bo is the perfect example for why eBay works. Dude has little tech skills, nailed it, self-aware, and has a very successful e-procurement sports card store. Wouldn't happen without the platform's self-serve, without question. Excuse me, without a doubt. Let's see. eBay is, once you figure it out, it's super easy. Andrew says YouTube needs to change where the button is placed. It should be on the text screen somewhere. The name of the game on eBay is promotions. It's pay to play without question. And I'm learning that, which again, like I said at the start of this video, the timing for me to drop those promotions is perfect because I'm going to be out of town for 3 days. So I don't want 150 sales per day, 200 sales per day. 42 is easy. Boom. I can get it out and I can pump up my listings and then I'll bury myself in sales starting Monday. Let's see. Augustus says, amazingly, like 2/3 of my sales are off of organic impressions. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Brian says, geez, if Bo has little tech skills while working Car Dealer Pro and on StreamYard, then I'm a dunce. I pick a lane, and I think if I understood how to use, and I'm actually, when it comes to StreamYard, I really don't know much about StreamYard. I just never use it, and it takes me a little while. Reppin' Rajon says, I haven't done any promotions on eBay. How do you go about that, and what kind of costs are we talking? Well, it depends. I think now I'm down to, what's the minimum, like 2%? I'm at the minimum, which I think is automatic. I think eBay has like, oh, you have to promote it 2%. Some of mine were as high as 7-8%. And again, you're like, oh, 7-8%, I'm already paying 12% plus the 30-cent transaction fee. Where is the margin? But it's there. At least looking at my net sales, it's totally there. Well worth it. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, going back to Reppin' Rajon, it is under, is it marketing? Yeah, go to, in your seller hub, go to marketing, go to promotions, and then you can go into somewhere. It actually did take me a little while to find it, but it's somewhere in there. John says, Mark, correction, not the richest owner in sports. There are soccer teams owned directly by sovereign funds of oil nations. There you go. There's a little soccer. John's dropping some soccer knowledge. You should list soccer cards, John. Dan says, what field do you use to put your box and tab information in on Car Dealer Pro so it shows up in the eBay listing so you don't have to sort? In the spreadsheet, it's column B, and I think it's custom label in the spreadsheet. So it's in the spreadsheet. It's like the second column, B, in the Excel spreadsheet. And I do it from like, so I know some people do their editing within Car Dealer Pro's website and then export the spreadsheet and then upload. I export the spreadsheet because I work with Excel. So I just like working within the spreadsheet. So I export the spreadsheet and do all of my editing within Excel, not the website. Brian does 4.2%, but it ends up almost 20% fees to eBay on my sales. John says, right here in America, Steve Ballmer is worth 5 times more than the Mets owner. A lot of rich folks out there. Herman says, my sales always suck. Flipping Sports Guy says, the trend I have noticed is when I do 6+ card orders, the first one is usually listed as sold with promotion, My organic sales are typically one card at a time. That's interesting. That isn't. I'll have to go back and look. I know I was moving a lot of cards at promotions, and I noticed this because I sell to a lot of people like that watch this show or that are on Twitter, and it's like, but the sale has a promotion attached, and it's like, this doesn't make sense because I know they have the link to my store. Why is this promoted? Why did I get charged a promotion fee for somebody that I know clicked on my link? That's the main reason. And I'm really fed up with all these nickel and dime fees on eBay. But here I am telling you how to open an eBay store as soon as I get through the chat. Paige and Deanie Bean says, let them sell on Whatnot. I visited Whatnot a few times, mostly a lot of screaming, yelling, reminds me of late night Don West, rest in peace, in the early 90s. It's not the atmosphere that I'm into. Rep and Rajon says, I'm going to buy 100 cards from you tonight just so that I can complain all weekend about how they haven't shipped yet. Hey, thank you. If you did that, I might wake up early and ship them out tomorrow morning. Bo Jackson overrated. Come on. I'm told. Low Roller talking about Bitcoin. It's pumping 18,000. Interesting. Mark says, got it, John. Stand corrected. Bo Jackson captured minds of fans approximately from 87 to 90. Christian says, 3 of my friends and our wives went to Tigers Fest several years ago. The wives still talk about that day the way that war vets talk about major battles. Tigers Fest. Bo equals a lobby lizard. I spent a lot of time in the hotel lobby of Cubs convention. Augusta says, wives like plural. Let's see. Low Roller, no good hits on the Goodwill palette. Red Light 34, what's up in the crane? Zach and Porter says, Bo sounds like Seinfeld, pro name tag, and when Kramer wanted all the tenants' pictures up in the lobby. Yeah, yes, that's exactly. It generates conversation. My cardboard cutout says, looking for advice to scale up my baseball card store. Yes, there you go. Am I really only at that point in the chat I feel like I talked about that, appears to be 20 minutes ago. Mark went to the Mets Fest a few years ago. I was like a kid in a candy store getting autographs and meeting my childhood heroes. My girlfriend said I didn't stop smiling all day. That's kind of like my wife's like, oh my God. You had a lot of fun. Let's see. Herman paid $180 for a new one, talking about a thermal label printer. So yeah, they really range in value. Dan says, when you go to spring training, you could also go in and increase the price of your cards and see if that slows your sales or not. That could give you an idea of pricing structure flexibility. That's also, I thought about that. That's the old, PSA did that when they were overburdened with submissions. Just jack up the price, and hey, there's still an influx of money coming in, and you know those pressure points. Gustus says, yeah, I'll wait. I'd have to sell cards for a month to pay for the thermal printer. I'll work with my printer for a while. eBay had a server error late last evening as well. I was unable to upload any batches, so that probably impacted sales. What time was that? Because I was uploading some, actually, no, I wasn't. I did a lot of scanning. And so I'll upload, time pending today, I'll upload another 500 or so cards. Let's see. Brian uses a Rollo thermal printer. I've heard good things about Rollo. I can only speak to the Brother. That's the Brother QL 1100 and the Brother QL 800 are the only ones I've used, but I have heard good things about the Rollo. There's some other brands out there that people use. Let's see. Augustus says, we all know he doesn't talk about the title until he said a minimum of 4 times. He has to leave and the show is almost over. That is true. T206 Kid, what's happening? Good morning to you. First time live. Greetings from, how do you pronounce it? I'm a Yankee, so I go Louisville. I sound like a Yankee. Louisville. But I've got some friends that live down there. It's like the less vowels you use is the more correct pronunciation. Louisville. Let's see. John says Brian Gray is no friend of mine. Yes, I thought you guys were bros. Let's see. Jenny says, I don't go to my local team's games because as soon as you leave your car, you either get the Cadillac converter stolen off, or they take your whole car. Well, that's not good. That doesn't happen. Surprisingly, that doesn't happen in Chicago. T206 Kid says, I worked at Louisville Slugger for 6 years. We always had a blast setting up at Cubs Convention. Oh, nice. Yeah, Cubs Convention is great. I don't think any of the vendors, I don't think Louisville Slugger is going to be at Cubs Convention. It's just the minor league affiliates and the Cubs team store and Cubs charities. Low Roller says, get taxi in Chicago. Easier said than done. Downtown, it's easy. When you get out to Wrigley, it's not easy to get a taxi in Chicago, in Wrigleyville. Let's see. Andrew says, I love where we're at. I would be sad if you didn't say that for 59 consecutive days. I've never tried Lyft. Let's see. I don't think I've tried Lyft. Is the person even here that asked about how to start an eBay store? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe they'll catch the replay. We're 56 minutes in and haven't touched the subject. And it looks like that's what I like about StreamYard. I see the timestamp. So I'm only 50. I've caught up and I'm only 15 minutes behind. That's like my eBay shipping. I'm caught up means I have under 100 items to ship. That means I'm caught up. I'm only 15 minutes behind in the chat. I'm caught up. Has your scanner ever put vertical scratches on any of your cards? My new Epson ES400 has done it a few times, and I've cleaned the heck out of it, thinking of upgrading to Fujitsu. I've not had any scratches that I'm aware of. I'm doing so much volume that I'm not inspecting every card before and after. But I assume all my, even if I'm scanning a Chrome card, which I don't often, I assume there's going to be scratches anyway. So if there's an extra scratch, and nothing that I've even noticed, on Fujitsu, I know some people have, had issues. Very few that, from people that I know of, but every once in a while I'll see somebody, I've got a scratch, but personally, I haven't noticed anything. Let's see. John says, last ball game I went to, the ticket was $160. Thankfully, I could expense food and beverage. Let's see. Mike says, Paige, I am here. Oh, it was Mike. He was the one that asked the question, where I'm getting around to it. Max Faza, what's up? Good morning to you. Flipping Sports Guy says, 91 Fleer. I can't believe I actually sold a 91 Fleer card the other day. They sell 91 Fleer. Surprisingly, what's the fee structure for COMC cards on eBay? Are you paying double fees? I don't know. I've never sold on COMC, so I honestly don't know. Is there an opt-in? Is Uncle Rich still here? Or anybody that's used COMC? I don't want to speak to it because I have no idea. But I wonder if there's an opt-in where you pay an additional % to get your card from COMC also posted to eBay. I don't know the answer. Mark says, you think baseball is bad, went to a Devils game. That's hockey. I know that. That's hockey. Good thing the tickets were comped. For the face value, I should get a few shifts. Bink Scott says, do you ever ship PWE? All the effing time. That's 90% of my sales. 80% of my sales are shipped PWE. Augusta says, I think the reason my organic sales is so high is since I only have a few hundred cards listed. My sales % is high, which keeps my cards listed. Most likely, yes. Brendan says, when you say you had about 30 or so sales, is that 30 checkouts or 30 separate listings sold? That's sales. That's total sales. Let's see. Oh, speaking of which, anyone else noticed January 1st, their automatic promotion rate went up 1%. I guarantee they had an IT team spend a week figuring out if they did that, every sale would net them an extra penny, right? And when you have 18 million sellers on your platform, that's a lot of money. Can Mac users use eBay? I don't think so. I think it's like Excel. You can't use Excel on a Mac. And I don't think eBay's platform allows you. I don't think Macs have eBay either. Well, it's after 8 a.m. And he's about 20 minutes behind in the chat, so we won't be learning how to open an eBay store. Yes, you will. You just have to keep listening or listen in replay. Does anyone have any luck with Facebook card pages? I see someone say, I'm looking for this, and they get like literal 100 responses, and 70 of them aren't even what they're looking for. It's insane, but people said they have luck on them. I've had success on Facebook. I don't use Facebook groups that often. Usually it's just for entertainment purposes, and then I'll screenshot it and send it to a group chat like, oh, look at this. But I have had some success. What was annoying early on in my 1 million Cubs project, when I did a lot of trades and I was like seeking out trades, I would go and I'm looking for bulk team trades, and you would get 70 responses, or you'd get 100 responses, and more than 70, like 90 of them were just people like Tigers, Yankees, Mets, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Royals, Phillies, Pirates. And it's like, and then you go to message them, hey, how many Cubs do you have? I have X amount of Phillies. And they just ghost you. And it's like, why are they even commenting? So that was like, okay, I'm done with you Facebook groups. But yes, I've actually bought quite a few cards. In some of the like pre-war groups I'm in, I bought quite a few tobacco cards from these groups. And I guess it depends on the group. Some of them are the Wild West and they suck. Some of them are really good. Andrew says, does anyone know? It's kind of like eBay. Like, yeah, there's dumbass listings. 1994 Uribe, I can't remember if it's Jose or Juan. I think it's Jose, for $27,000, but then there's others for 99 cents. Does anyone know of 900 count card boxes designed to hold the biggest card saver holders? I don't know. Check out. I'm not gonna recommend the one that starts with a B anymore. So I will recommend go to Columbia Hobby and check out what they have in stock for boxes. And I think it'll say like tall, which are good for card savers. So just go to Ultra Pro or Columbia Hobby and check out those websites. And then if those don't have anything you're looking for, then maybe go to the other one. I noticed something will sell as organic, and then 3 minutes later, it's considered promoted. LOL. What can you do? Yeah, the eBay Mafia takes their cut, and you just got to expect it. Yeah. Since we're already over an hour in and I haven't discussed how to open an eBay store, I'll have to give you my update maybe next week. Hopefully by next week, I'll have more information about my ongoing saga with overcharged eBay fees. Colin says, how much faster is Card Dealer Pro? Are you happy? Man, it's like 5 times faster. So here's basically the breakdown of what I can list on a per hour basis. So if I sit down and devote 1 hour of time, the entire listing process from start to finish, on my cell phone, I can do about 40 per hour, 40 to 50. Using Image Shack with eBay File Exchange, I can do about 125 in 1 hour. Card Dealer Pro, 400 in an hour. So about 4 times, maybe 3.5 times. Way faster and easier. Also, by the way, that 400 with eBay File Exchange, I'm typing all the information in. With Card Dealer Pro, I'm not typing in any information. So that hour it takes, about a half an hour of that, I can ship cards. So really, I'm only doing work for a half an hour. The process takes an hour to list everything because the AI is generating and all that stuff. But I'm spending 30 minutes of actual work doing it. So basically, I guess it's 800, essentially 800. For the time it takes me to list 125 using File Exchange, I can do 800 using Card Dealer Pro. That's how much faster it is. Let's see. Low Roller uses Whatnot to enter free giveaways by going to each host. So I have the chance to win free cards and win free teams. Victor says, going to have to hit the hotel bar this weekend. You'll see me there. Bo is now 1 lunar cycle behind on the chat. Miss Cherry Cordell, I have a big old bottle of ink that I inject into my cartridges and keep it old school. Works for me for now. Let's see. Low Roller has a ComC store, username Mike255. I am running promotions, 15% sales. Check out my store. Let's see. Jenny says, maybe I'll catch the replay and listen to our chat and not learn how to open an eBay store. We're still online. It's not like scaling your business. I clicked the link this morning and thought, is Bo even going to talk about that today? We know how you are with thumbnails, right? Low Roller wants some giveaways. John, we should have bet the over-under on whether or not Bo got to the subject at hand. I'm going to get there. Might take me a while, but I'm going to get there. Hey, I'm only 4 minutes behind on the chat, so we're getting closer and closer to how to open an eBay store. When you ship PWE, do you or can you track PWE? If not, do you get many didn't receive the item claims? So I use eBay standard envelope. It's in a PWE and it has tracking. The tracking is not always accurate, but there is insurance, so it is covered. So if somebody says they don't have it, you just refund the money. You send the claim off to the claim website. Boom, you get your money back in 24 hours. So there you go. But before standard envelope became a thing, I did send PWE and just a regular stamp. Don't have any. Oh, I'm going to need more stamps. I'm going to have to wait an hour in line at the post office, John, and buy my stamps. But I would send those, and it was very few. And that's the thing. Like, yeah, standard envelope tracking sucks. It's not accurate, but with a stamp, you can't get your money back. With the tracking, you get your money back. Let's see. Miss Cherry Cordell loves Columbia Hobby. They are great. Big fan as well. Saw some guy listed all his 1990-ish hoops cards. The little bubble blemishes on the surface had them listed as errors for like $70 each. Fisheye error. Oh, yeah. I use the Vault, which is 10 boxes that hold card savers and slabs from Columbia. There you go. Let's see. What's up, Baseball Card Curmudgeon? Good morning. The fish eye error sounds like a fishy error to me, right? Let's see. Joe says, what's your suggestion on what to have the Cubs players sign? So that's all dependent on what, that's, I think, personal preference. For me, I'm a big signed baseball collector, and I have probably 500 Cubs baseballs signed. But many of the players that are going to be in attendance, especially alumni Cubs, I already have baseballs. Or like Bill Madlock, I have like 3 of them, or Steve Trout, so I don't need baseballs. So then I go like 8x10s, and for guys like Steve Trout, I have multiple 8x10s. Although I do have a group photo, saw him outside of Wrigley. We were at the Brick House Tavern in the park next to Wrigley, and Steve was walking, so I called him over, and he hung out with us for like 20 minutes. And then we took a group photo, so I want to have him sign that. So 8x10s are something that I like personally. And then I just bring a bunch of cards, which are good. Like if you're in the lobby and it's like, oh, I have Jody Davis on a baseball and I don't have any 8x10s, but I've got some Jody Davis cards. So that's kind of my order. If I don't have a baseball signed, so like some of the guys that are in the lines, like I'll bring baseballs. Or if I have like a selfie with a player, I'll print an 8x10. And then if I don't have any 8x10s, I've actually got to go look through my 8x10 folder to see if I have guys that are going to be there. And then I'll go to cards. Last thing I do is cards. A lot of people do like jerseys and bats. I don't do jerseys or bats. I have an idea for a jersey, but it's the stars must align. I know I can get it signed easy. It's just I got to locate a jersey, which that's going to be the hard part. But otherwise, I don't do jerseys or bats or anything like that. So it's kind of your personal preference. Let's see. You guys realize we're responsible for him not talking about. Yes, thank you, Augusta, coming to my defense. It's not my fault. You guys keep talking. Which is good. And yes, it is good. When the chat blows up like this, that's a good thing. That's what makes this fun for, I think, all of us, is when the chat blows up and I'm 20 minutes behind in the chat. I think that's the best part. The more we chat, the less likely he is to ever get to the topic. Mike says, I don't think eBay Canada has PWE, so shipping is going to be high. Not a fun start. Y'all know Bo likes his clickbait thumbnails. There you go. Now I'm caught up with the chat. So, do you want to open an eBay store? Thank you, Mike, for the suggestion. we are now the topic at hand. And guess what? If you have questions, where's my banner? I even created a banner for this. Oh, shit. Now I can't find it. Where's my banner? Ah, it must not have saved. Let's see. I've still got all of my it's not have saved. Okay, so let's just do that. Boom. Oh, I had to add it, and then I can post it. Okay. There we go. Have a question? Ask in the chat. So, Max, what's happening? Who has been the worst Cubs encounter for you, whether convention or elsewhere? Oh, shit. I've actually had very few like poor interactions with players. Damn, I don't know. Cubs convention, I haven't had any. Cubs convention is everybody's happy, like even the players, even if they don't want to be there. Spring training I haven't had that I can think of. I'm sure I've had like a poor interaction with a player. But I can't think of any. I honestly can't think of a bad interaction with a Cubs player, whether it be at Cubs convention, a game, or spring training. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, well, this guy didn't sign my autograph or he was a dick. But like, if a guy doesn't want to sign, like would you? But if a grown man is asking you, if you're 20 years old and a grown man twice your age is asking for your signature, like that's how, like, I'm a little self-deprecating when it comes to autographs. Like, I don't need, like, I get it. I'm 40 and I'm asking this dude that could be my son for his autograph. I get it. It's a little weird when you think of it like that. I have millions of pictures of men on cardboard in my basement. I get it. But I haven't had like a bad encounter with a Cub. Let's see. Would love to see how to make a variation listing. Most on YouTube are for clothes, etc., and even the few for sports cards. I can't figure out how to add the pics to all the line items. I'm not a good person to ask on that. I can do variation listings. I think I did actually search my YouTube channel, but I think it's changed a little bit. But if you search my YouTube channel, I did a variation video. I think it's changed a little bit, and I don't know if I addressed the images. So and I don't do variation listings because I can honestly list using Card Dealer Pro and File Exchange. I can list singles faster than variations. Let's see. It's funny. Everyone talks bad about Zach Greinke. Talked with him and Jose Lima for half an hour during warmups at Yankee Stadium. Awesome dudes. And sometimes I wonder if Zach Greinke just he's building that image so he doesn't have to have a bunch of interactions. Like if you're a nice guy, everybody like rushes to you. Let's see. One of my most pleasant experiences with an athlete. And I've got a bunch. Like I've got a bunch of like cool interactions, but I honestly don't have any like bad interactions. The only one was the Bears guy when I was like in 7th grade. I've shared that story. I won't go into it again. If you want to hear it at a later date, I can share. Chase Utley was notorious for never coming through the main player exits. He was always sneaking around the ballparks and public areas to avoid fans. I loved his determination to stay away. So let's go ahead and look into eBay. We're going to choose our subscription. Let's share the screen. Present, share screen. We want Chrome, tab, choose your subscription level. Okay, now let's see. Let's do this one. Okay. Low Roller says it's time to make a new variation. I think it is because it has changed. So first thing, so you want to start an eBay store. Mike brought this question up yesterday, so I decided to do it. I apologize that I'm an hour and 25 minutes before, or an hour and 15 before we get to the subject. So basically, you want to look at your plans. There's 5 to choose from. It starts with the starter subscription, $5 a month. If you pay at once, which, by the way, it doesn't bill you the whole year. And I think that's kind of, I think people see that. Well, I don't want to commit to a year. Now, there is penalties. You do have to commit to a year, but it doesn't charge you. Say you want the starter package. It's $5 a month for a year plan. Now you're committed to pay $60 a month or $60 for the whole year. It's not going to bill you upfront $60. It's going to bill you $4.95, and it's going to bill you each month at a time. But say you're 3 months in and you want to cancel, it's going to bill you for the 9 months. So you're basically locked in, but you're paying $5 a month. And I know that does turn people off. Like, I don't want to pay $60 up front. So if you want to go with the monthly plan, it's going to be almost twice as much, $8 a month. For sellers who want an entry-level solution. By the way, I do not recommend this package. It's basically the same as not having a store at all. So I would not even consider the starter package. Basic package, $21.95 per month with a 1-year plan. Or if you just want to test it out for a month, it's $28, $27.95. Now this one, you're going to get lower fees, lower final value fees, and you're going to get more free listings. This, if you're starting out, that's the package I recommend. And I'll explain in a second, though, before you select and subscribe. There's some math involved. Premium store. Now, this is the monthly subscription I'm in. $60 a month with the 1-year plan. If you just want to try it 1 month, I would not suggest that one bit, because if you go with the premium, you're already getting like 50,000 free listings. So you're not going to just jump up to that plan for a month to try it out. So if you're doing the premium plan, without question, you're going to subscribe to the year, 1-year plan, $60 a month for the year. And yes, that's what's 60 times 12. 600, 720. That's a $720 investment. Again, it's not going to be billed to you up front. It's only going to be $60 1 month at a time. Anchor store, I can't offer any suggestions. Eventually, I'll get there with my listings. $300 per month for high volume sellers who want lower fees. And there's some other perks involved in that. The enterprise, for sellers with very large catalogs that transact at the highest volumes. And maybe I'll get there. I don't know, $3,000 a month. That's a lot of $1.50 cards. So I don't know if I'll ever have the capacity. I would definitely, if I get to that point, I'll have part-time employees. So if you're starting out, which is what we're talking about here this morning, you're going to start out with your basic subscription. I'm going to go into the chat just to see if there's any questions, and we can get back. Let's see. Where are we at? Now I've got to scroll up. Okay, here we go. John says, yes, and it was a Bears defensive back interaction that didn't go well. And now he's like a assistant general manager in the NFL. Let's see. Augusta says, just a reminder, when you can open a store, remember how many you can list. And that's exactly the point that I'm going to get to. No sense opening premium if it will take you 5 months to list that many and you're still restricted by your selling limits. That's exactly what I'm going to touch on. Thank you, Augusta. Let's see. Low Roller says, does eBay store still offer free listings for $50K in your store? Is it available for new customers? Yes. So I have actually, with my premium store subscription, I have 60,000 free listings per month. And I don't have limits on my account. You might have listings on your account. So that's the first thing. Tracy, what's up? We're talking eBay finally. Harlan says, Junk Wax Hero told the story of seeing Ted Williams in a Kmart when he was a kid. Said Ted supposedly said, what did that damn kid ever do for me, when he was asked to sign something? That's not good. Okay, so here's Mike has a question. Pricing. Trying to search a card on eBay is terrible. I used Collects to get an indication of a price range for my cards. I have about 9 3,200 count boxes. That's going to be tricky. Comping cards. That's kind of why I like to stick to my $1.50. I can list a bunch of cards at $1.50 free shipping. Am I losing out on 50 cents or $1 on some cards? Absolutely. Hell, the other day I listed a bunch of cards, $1.50 free shipping. 3 of them sold right away. They comp out $5, $10 each. Oh, well, somebody got some great deals. Come up with a price. whether it's $1.50, $2.50, if it's reasonable, if it's competitive, and then try to stick to that. That would be my advice. But yes, comping cards, pain, time consuming. And I think once you find your niche, you'll come around and you'll start to understand the comps and what the market is for certain cards. Let's see. Andrew says, when Bo enters Enterprise, I'm sending Dean to Wisconsin to intern. There you go. So we're going to go back to what Augusta made the comment for, and that's where we're going to start. So say you want the basic store. You're going to pay $21.95 per month. But say you're just starting out. Maybe you do the 1 month trial for $28. So you're going to pay $27.95 per month. That way you're not locked in to a few $100s. And again, it doesn't charge you up front. You're going to be charged per month. So whether you lock in for a year at $21.95, you're on the hook for all that money. But it's not going to charge you up front. Unless you cancel, then it's going to charge you the balance remaining. So $27.95 on the 1 month. That way you don't have to worry if you're just kicking the tires. I'm going to try this out and get it up. Does Card Dealer Pro not pick up on serial numbered cards 100 or less? It does not do serial numbered cards very well. It does pick some up. I had some 90s serial numbered cards, like out of like 9,400, and it picked those up. It does pick up some Topps Gold that are serial numbered, out of 2,000. But yes, the lower the serial number, the less likely it is to recognize. So we're going to start out your basic subscription. Here we're going to compare your stores. Here's those subscriptions. It breaks it down in the fees. Your subscription at the basic level, $22 or $28. And here's the goods. Fees. Free fixed price insertions. Check your limits. You may not. So this in the basic store, $1,000 per month. If you're just starting out on eBay, eBay may have not allowed you to list 1,000 items per month. Your limit might be 100 or 200 or 500. So make sure the limits match up. So if you want a basic store, make sure you have at least 1,000 monthly insertions on your limits. Or if you want to move up to the premium, make sure eBay's limits have you at 10,000. You can always request, just go into the help bar, help menu, type in increase my limit. And I think there's like a little form you can fill out now. And you may or may not be able to increase those limits. So first off, in the basic, make sure you can do 1,000, or if you want to move up to the premium, make sure you can list 10,000 in a month. It also allows you 250 per month in the basic store. Your additional fixed price insertion. So you have 1,000 you get for free each month. Say you've got 1,100. Those 100 additional listings are going to be charged to you at 25 cents per insertion. Same with auctions, 25 cents. Your final value fee. Okay, it doesn't really explain it out. I think for trading cards, we can get to that in a moment, but I think it's I don't know what the basic is, but for premium, it's 12%. And I think it's 12.9. It's either 12.5 or 12.9 for trading cards in the basic subscription. So there you go. So first off, you want to check out, make sure you have limits that equal the number that you're going to be listing free within your basic store. So 1,000, or if you want to move up, 10,000. Make sure those limits are in place. Now you also want to figure out, this is why you don't just jump to premium. How many cards can you list in a month? If you're only listing 30 a day, 50 a day, well, you don't want to just jump to premium and you're going to waste that additional money for subscriptions. You want to make sure you get to that point, but that's a big jump from 1,000 to 10,000. So you need to be at a place where you're maxing out. This is where your math comes in, and only you can do this math for yourself. It depends on your work rate. It depends how many items you're listing in a day or in a week and in a month. So once you reach your max, you're at 1,000. You're gonna there's a difference in value. So what that math is, I didn't do the math before, and I won't bore you with the details of getting out my calculator. But figure out what that break-even point is, because you don't want to just jump. You don't want to be at 1,100 listings. What's 100 times 25 cents? What's that? $25. So an additional $25, you get 100 listings. You're paying $25. So it's about what, 50, 46, 47. So you're still coming in under. So that break-even point is going to be somewhere around like 1,200 items. So where it makes sense math-wise, somewhere around 1,200, 1,300 items listed, because by jumping up to the premium level, you're going to be saving money as opposed to paying for those additional fixed price. So you've got to find, okay, once I get here, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to pay those additional insertion fees. But once I get to this number, $1,250 or whatever it might be, the break-even point, now I'm going to upgrade to the premium store. Okay, so now we see benefits. Before I get to the benefits, let's go back to see if I've missed anything in the chat. We've got Scotty Dubs in the house. What's up? Let's see. Augusta says, I suggest you sell for 2 months on free. You get $250 per month. And if you time it right, you get $250 free a month before the $250. So about $500. I was selling for a month when open. Yeah, I definitely get your feet wet before putting money on subscriptions. I would definitely agree with that as well. Scott says, at what point do you make the decision to start a store? Is it when you need more than 250 listings per month? That's something I think each individual seller will have to answer for themselves. In terms of listings per month, absolutely. Once you get to that point, that 250 where you're maxed out, does it make sense for you? And I think it's more about scale and scalability. Are you looking to scale your store up further? If you're content with 250, 300 listings, say it's like, I've got 250, 300. If you're content with just adding a few items per day and you're cool with that, I would suggest not opening an eBay store. But if you are striving to get to 500 listings, 1,000 listings, 2,000 listings and beyond, then you're definitely going to want to open a store and scale up with your eBay store subscriptions. But if you're content at that 250 mark and say, hey, I'm cool, it's just a little side hustle, side income, I'm okay with listing 250 and whatever the sell-through rate is on my 250 listings, just roll with it. And I think you're going to be okay. Augustus says, my store paid the subscription and only have 600 max listing, which means I paid for only 100 extra free listings. Let's see. Brian says, if you have a store, you can use Terapeak to comp to get an idea on pricing. Yes, Terapeak. I don't use Terapeak. I've used it occasionally, but Brian does bring up a good point. If you do, and I don't comp much, but if you are wanting to comp, that's definitely a good tool to utilize within a store subscription is Terapeak. Augusta says they allowed me 1K after a month. Then you can prepare drafts. And on the second month, you have a decent amount already and keep listing. Absolutely. It's all about scalability. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy, 12%. So, okay. So the basic, thank you. So the basic is 12% also. It's the same fee for the premium subscription, 12%. Let's see. I thought premium store was only 25,000 free listings. I thought it's 50K per month. I'm at 60K. I get like 50,000 free listings and then 10,000, or I get 10,000. I think it's 10,000 free listings, but then you get an additional 50,000 in select categories. Trading cards fall in one of those select categories. Let's see. And there, I think, Flipping Sports Guy answered that. Yes. Augusta also adds, I feel the Terapeak with sports cards is hard outside of vintage because of the constant fluctuation. That's a good point, especially if it's modern, if it's prospects, in-season stuff. I'm probably wasting money on a store, but I like the free supply money and will eventually list a lot more. Slabs are slow. Yeah, and also we're going to get to the benefits. You do get supplies. You have to do that help chat to get the expanded listings amount, though it won't work automatically if you try the bot. Aha. Okay. Okay. So here's the benefits. So you get, so basically with the starter store, you get some of these little things, but again, I would not recommend the starter store. Start at the basic level. So is it going to break down? So here's who's it for. So basic level, you can unlock more zero insertion fee listings, final value fee discounts, which is 12%, and a coupon, which I believe the basic store is $25 per quarter. And you can use those. I haven't paid for a bubble mailer in quite some time because I use these eBay branded bubble mailers. They also have boxes. I bought some boxes. I was not. Now I'm using the bubble mailers more and more. The more I sell volume, the more I'm using bubble mailers. But I had some boxes, and I'm using the boxes for storage for cards, like when I sell in bulk, which has come in real handy. Let's see. And it's $25 per quarter for those eBay branded supplies. It's $50 per quarter in the premium store subscription. Summary. So there's your summary. So let's go to the fees. Is there a fee breakdown? There should be. Go back into the chat. Let's see. If you shop at Costco, you can get free box all the time. I don't know what you mean by that. Let's go back into the help. By the way, the help button is usually pretty helpful. Go back here. Okay, so now let's just try to get around the help menu. Okay, final value fees, stores. The annoying part is when you're breaking down the options, like it's not all on that one screen. Store selling fees. I wonder if this will help us. That's going to be insertion fees. Good till canceled. Final. We want final value. Here we go. Okay. Make sure. Oh, those are insertion. Fixed price listings. We want final value. Select final value fees. Is there a breakdown? Okay, here we go. Let's share that screen again. Chrome tab, store selling fees, and boom. Okay, so store selling fees. We're going to skip ahead to the basic. Where's the basic? Basic, premium, and so up here is like the final value fees are the same once you get to the basic level. So since we're a trading card channel, let's just skip ahead and go to sports cards, which I believe fall under, yes, most collectibles. Just make sure there's not a separate sports. Yes. Jeez, there's a lot of categories. Okay. So collectibles is where we're going to be. Most collectibles categories, except emerging NFTs and non-sports cards NFTs. Okay, so most collectibles, it's going to be 12% on total amount of the sale up to $25 calculated per item, 2.35% on the portion of the sale over $2,500. So there you go. 12% is your final value fee. Now, do we get to listings? This is just your final value fees. Oh, sports cards NFTs. Okay, sports cards, memorabilia. Okay, this is where we're at. Oh, that's sporting. It's 12% on the total. Same thing. Let's see. Now we want to go to search eBay help for, let's see, free listings, store. This is I wish they had this breakdown on like one page. Instead, you have to search 3 different times. Store selling fees, eBay stores. I think that's what we're just at. Let's try this. Oh, perfect. Okay, so here we go. Your monthly zero insertion fee listings. Basic store package, up to 1,000 fixed price and up to 250 auction style. Basic store. Oh, you also get an additional 10,000 fixed price listings in select categories in the basic store, which, by the way, select categories, boom, trading cards, sports trading cards. So With a basic store, you actually get 11,000 free listings per month. Premium store, you receive 60,000. You get 10,000 with your subscription, plus an additional 50,000 in select categories, which trading cards. So 11,000 for your basic store, 60,000 for your premium store, 100,000 for your anchor store, and then the enterprise looks like it's 200,000 for the enterprise. So that's my thoughts and opinions on how to start an eBay store and crunch those numbers. And again, everybody's going to be different in terms of scalability and just where you're at the break-even point. Let's see. On the way out the door, they have a pile of empty boxes to take for free if you want them. I speak LRS-ish. Gotcha. So many Amazon purchases, don't need to order boxes. That's where I'm in that boat where I have plenty of boxes. A lot of, not for me, my wife orders a lot of off Amazon. Currently, I pay eBay $23 a month for 1,000 last 6 months. No difference in sales on a weekly and monthly average, and my views are actually lower. Probably going to cancel soon. Well, are you adding any new inventory? Are you changing up what you've added? Are your prices? There could be multiple reasons why your sales are not moving. If you're not adding anything new, you're probably not going to sell. If your prices are high, you're not going to sell. So it just kind of depends on how your store is set up. Let's see. Brian says how I use Terapeak. I look at the data of what not sold, then I look at active listings, amount of cards, and average out the prices and add 15 to 30%. Hayden says, is that 11,000 free listings or just listings allowed in general? That's 11,000 free insertion listings. However, you need to be cognizant on how many your account is allowed. Your account might not be allowed 11,000 free listings. So are you utilizing? Are you able to utilize? So if you're only allowed, say you're only allowed 100 listings per month, I would not get a store until you can get that limitation raised. So yes, for the basic store, you're getting 11,000 free insertion listings. But you have to look at your account. What are your account limitations? Your account limitations, you might not be able to list 11,000. It might be 100. It might be 1,000. It might be 2 billion. That was actually a number at one point. Let's see. Flipping Sports Guy says just 11K free. If you have a limit, you can only go up to your limit. Exactly. You can always go over 11K as well. Just pay extra. Exactly. Flipping Sports Guy said it more eloquently. So if you have 1,000 free listings limitate or 1,000 listings limitation, you can only list 1,000 items, whether you're paying for it or not. You can't even go over that number and get charged for it. But if you have 2 billion limitation, you can hit 11,000 free, and then you can list 20,000. But be cognizant, you're going to pay for those 9,000 over your, if you list 20,000, you're going to have to pay insertion fees on those additional 9,000. Go Golf 27 is my eBay store. I will check that out. Go Golf 27. Let me see if I can search. I won't put you on Go Golf 27. I'm just going to have it on in the background. Let's see. Is this... Come on, I just want to find a user. How the hell do I search for a user on eBay? Okay. Anyway, moving back. ComC have advantages. If you don't have many free listings, you were allowed if you were a new person on eBay. Let's see. If you do want to do auctions, do them first of the month, or your buy it now listings will soak up the extra $250 per month before you do that. Let's see. Hayden says this isn't necessarily applicable to me at the moment, but do you know if you can directly request higher limits from eBay? Yes. Let's see. Go to the help and contact feature at the very top of ebay.com. Search eBay help. Raise. I probably won't be able to go much further than this because I don't have. So I have 2 billion. So my monthly limit is 2 billion items per month or $2 billion per month, which surprisingly I haven't reached that. So then there's just a request a limit increase. Try that. It may or may not work. And if it doesn't work, try the chat. There used to be a phone number. You could call a phone number and talk to somebody. Now it's harder than hell to get somebody on the phone. Damn near impossible. Flipping Sports Guy says, I'm confused by that Augusta. I have 250 auctions a month. No matter what I listed in fixed price, that wouldn't tap into those auctions. Okay, so I don't understand what you don't understand. If you want to do auctions, do them first of the month, or your buy it now listings will soak up the extra $250 per month before you do that. Yeah, I guess I don't understand that either. Do you ever do YouTube live auctions? I do not. Basically because eBay's so easy for me. Cat plopped his butt down on the keyboard. Let's see. Brian says, nice scans of your cards. What are you using? I'm going to have to do a Google search because I can't figure out how to search within eBay. Go Golf 27. There we go. Top rated seller. Oh, wait, that's topratedseller.com. Let's see. Go Golf 20. Here we go. Finally. All items. Just going to take a look at your store. I mean, the prices look fair to me. A lot of these I don't know comps on. I will say, like lots, there's a lot of 4 cards of just kind of random. Those are tough sells. I will say that. Although lots of like Mattingly, those typically do okay. So yeah, my thought process would be try promoted listings if you're not already, or make sure you're actively listing new inventory on a consistent basis. But yeah, otherwise your prices look okay. Let's see. Sorry, cat plopped down. Adam says the new iPhone. Here's a question. Say you have 1K limit and you have 1,000 listings. If you list a buy it now, it counts for both your paid limit and your 250 listing. Your auction will only count toward the 250. Yes, on limits. So he's talking limits. Now I get you. So he's talking limits, not free listings. Gotcha. So that's my thoughts, how to open an eBay store, what, the kind of the process is. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll be back live again Monday morning. So we're taking the weekend off, 3-day weekend, back live Monday morning, 7 a.m. Central, a review of the Cubs convention. So I will not be live Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we will be back on Monday morning. See you then.